Yo, what's up? It's your boy Josh. Inside of this video, what we'll be looking at walking through is how I've collected $118,000 in cash in the last 6 months and how I went from zero to that money collected. But then what I'll also walk you through is how I took my Instagram following from 100 followers to a little over 2,200 followers, and why that's also important to understand as it plays a major role in this whole process. But most importantly, my primary objective in this video is to not sit here and boast about all the cool things that I've done in the last 6 months. It's more so to walk you through the process to help you understand how I did it and how you can go ahead and do something very similar in your online coaching business as well. Now, this video is for you if you are a personal trainer or you're a health coach and you're wanting to build and scale an online coaching business. There's a pretty good chance that you're an in-person coach right now. There's a pretty good chance that you're at capacity with your time. Your income's kind of hit a bit of a threshold and you're feeling somewhat burnt out. I've been in the trenches before, which I'll walk you through in a moment, and I know what that feels like. And the online world seems like a cool place to dabble in, but you're just a little bit sure about how to really, dip your toes in and kind of get going. Or you're also a coach who's started to dabble in the online world, but you just can't seem to get things going really consistently. And you're looking at building a fun, simple, and predictable business, but also growing an audience of red hot prospects. You're looking at scaling a high ticket online program so you can actually charge what you're worth. You're looking at stacking personal brand, targeted content, and low cost paid ads to actually scale the business with ease. And the most important thing here is actually achieving time and location freedom so you can work from anywhere in the world. You can do basically whatever the fuck that you want. Like right now at the time I'm filming this, I'm chilling here in Bali. So kind of living the digital nomad dream. So if that is you, then keep watching this bad boy of a video. But if it's not, then just go and watch more of my content. Go jump on my Instagram, go watch some of that stuff. Go check out more of the YouTube videos that I've been posting and kind of wrap your head around where you're at so you can get yourself ready and then go back through this training. Now, who the fuck is Josh Bowers? Now, a little side note, if you're a bit of a sensitive sausage, then I probably wouldn't watch this video. I probably just wouldn't start to immerse yourself in my content because I like swearing. I'm very direct, I'm very upfront, and that's just me. And if you don't like that, then fuck off because I don't really care. But at the end of the day, who the fuck am I, right? Let's go through that real quick. I know you don't really care about me, but I best lay down who I actually am just to give me some clout, right? I'm this tattoo collecting gym junkie from the Gold Coast in Australia. I'm actually obsessed with traveling. Like I said, I'm sitting here in Bali right now as at the time of filming this. 2015, I started out as a PT. Bounced around a few different gyms in Sydney. Like I said, I'm from the Gold Coast. I'm originally from Sydney. I worked at Vision Personal Training. If you're from Australia, east coast of Australia, you would probably have heard of that sort of boutique PT gym before. And then I sort of transitioned into the Fitness First franchise, bounced around from there. March 2020, I then launched the Bikini Body Project. I scaled that to 97 clients and 450K in revenue with no team. Well, I had a virtual assistant, but she wasn't really doing that much in terms of the coaching. The Bikini Body Project was my first online fitness coaching program. So I launched this while I was still a personal trainer. And then I went full-time in that business in 2021. It was a terrible time to actually launch the Bikini Body Project. If you're from Oz, you would know around March 2020 is when shit hit the fan and COVID happened. So yeah, it was a bad time to launch an online business, but it was also a really good time as well because people needed at-home training. December 2022, I should say, I launched Predictable Leads, which was a marketing agency helping other online fitness coaches basically run their paid ads and do their marketing. We generated a little over $500,000 in sales in just 3 months in their businesses with paid traffic. This was like a side business that I started with the Bikini Body Project, realized I overstretched myself and ended up shutting them all down. And that's when in June 2023, the Freedom Coach Formula was born, which is what I'm doing right now, which is basically helping health and fitness coaches grow to 5 to 10K a month and achieve online freedom. But I do things in a way where it's not the typical bro scaling pathway, which I'm going to get into in a moment's time. But before I do, I want to walk you through why 99% of coaches never actually make it fully online. And I'll walk you through the 3 different stages that pretty much most coaches will find themselves in. So there's a pretty good chance that you watching this video right now, you are probably floating somewhere within these 2 different stages here. But most of the time, most of the coaches I work with, they're a beginner, right? They're not a beginner coach. They've been around for quite a while, probably 1 to 10 years of in-person coaching experience. But what's happened is they've become the industry's best kept secret. They've got all these courses and accolades under their belt and all this experience, but they can't market themselves. They can't get themselves online. They're probably making around 3 to 10K a month, and they're probably doing okay in their in-person business, but they're burnt out. They're feeling lost and confused. They've got this broke mindset of like, oh, I can't do this. I can't invest in myself. They're posting random ass content. There's literally zero strategy. This is a really big one, is there's no content strategy. There's no marketing strategy. There's no sales strategy. And it's like, no wonder things aren't kicking off. They're generally afraid to invest in themselves. You know, they have, and I speak to coaches all the time who find themselves in this spot, is they've spent a lot of money investing in themselves in terms of upskilling as a coach. Like maybe it's nutrition courses or coaching courses or whatever, but they're afraid to hand over their hard-earned cash to a business mentor or a mastermind or something like that to really start to scale the business. So they're kind of afraid to invest. They don't have any niche or any sort of dialed in offer. They have no sales skills. Like they might think they have sales skills because they can do an in-person consultation, but usually their sales skills are shit, and they're generally facing a little bit of imposter syndrome. They're scared to put themselves out there. This is where most coaches find themselves when they're getting started online, right? They're sort of sitting in this point. They're capped out. Their income's at a limit. They're feeling burnt out. They don't know how to get themselves out there. They're just like the industry's best kept secret. And they're like, man, this is fucked. And this is where I was for like a very, very long time when I was getting started online. I was kind of like trapped. It felt like I was trapped. I just didn't really know what to do. But if you're in this stage, then my friend, you need to get the fuck out of there ASAP. But if you're sort of in stage 2 here, right, and this is where most coaches get themselves when they're sort of getting started online, is they have become what I call a hybrid coach. So they're doing a little bit of in-person, they're doing a little bit of online. They say that they're an online coach, but they're not actually an online coach. All you've done is just taken your in-person clients and said, hey, I can give you like access to this app and coach you online. That's not really coaching online. You're just delivering a services via an online platform. But I'm not throwing shit at you. I'm just saying this is where you're at, and it's the harsh reality that a lot of people need to hear. Usually during this time, you'll see here that the income has gone down 1 to 2K a month, but this is the online income. It's probably not even making that at that point, if I'll be honest here. But the position that you find yourself in as a hybrid coach is the lead flow is really, really inconsistent. You're not getting leads. And if you are, it's like your mum's friend's sister's cat's friend's referral, or like it's like one lead that like responded to like an Instagram story that you put up. So it's really, really inconsistent. With your online client base, you're probably working with no more than 10 clients. Usually you're probably floating around 3 to 6, something like that. You're charging really cheap prices, anywhere from $20 to $50 per week. And you might hear me say that and go, oh man, I'm charging 50 and that's a lot. It's not. It's really not that much money at all. You're relying just on organic marketing. You're helping anyone and everyone. You've got poor messaging, cold outreach, poor sales skills, no systems or processes. Shit's just kind of like randomly happened, which is a really common one. It feels like you're spinning your tires, and really it's just unstable and unpredictable. It's not the most fun place to be in, and this is where a lot of coaches will find themselves. They sit right here, right? They float between this region here. They kind of, and sometimes I notice some coaches bounce back and forth between this area as well. But this is where you burn out, and this is where you get stuck, and this is where you just hate life. But it doesn't have to be that way. When you go in as an all-in as an online coach, ideally you want to be sort of making around 5 to 10K a month in the early stages, and you're fully online. At this point, you should have automated lead flow. You should be using paid traffic. You should have a content ecosystem, a dialed in niche, lethal messaging. This is really, really important, what I focus on with my clients. You should be making 4 to 8 sales a month. You should be signing on 4 to 8 new clients every month. Your offer should be worth $1,000 to $3,000, not $20 a week. You've got scalable delivery. You're working no more than 5 hours a day, consistent and predictable. Profit margins are sitting at 70%. So if you're doing 10K at 70%, that's 7K a month you're walking away with, which is like still low profits really. You should be sitting around like 80 or 90 at this point. And you've got conveyor belt results with your clients. This is a really important one. But this is where you ideally want to be, is you ideally want to end up in this situation, because this is where life becomes easy. This is where you can work from your laptop in Bali. This is where you are making the money that you want. This is where you have the freedom that you want. But this is usually the hardest part to get into, because this is generally where you have to invest in yourself and go all fucking in. A lot of the time, it feels like you're going all in here, but you're not, because you don't have the direction, you don't have the clarity, and you're ultimately the industry's best kept secret. So that's why most coaches never make it online, is they always just get stuck here, and they never seem to make it into this point here, because there's no system, there's no strategy, there's no one there to hold their hand and make sure that they actually do it. So let's go through what I would consider the 4 pillars that are required to build this online freedom business. To get to 5 to 10K a month as an online coach, here are the 4 pillars that you need to implement to get to this position. Starting with pillar 1, which is what I call mastery. Now the focus here, and this is the most important stage of building an online business, is you need to gain clarity on who you need to become. Because consider this for a moment. If you don't yet have the business that you want, it's because you haven't become the person who can run it yet. Just like let that sink in for a moment. If you don't yet have the business you want, it's because you haven't become the person who is actually capable of running it yet. So what we need to do first is you need to get clear on what your goals actually are. A lot of coaches just blindly build their business without any goal in place. You need to gain the mindset for success. Once you've done this, you'll have clarity on point B. You know where the ship is going. You have established a roadmap that if you think about like the goal setting you do with your clients, right? Say Sally needs to lose fucking 20 kilos. Okay, Sally, over the next 6 months, you need to lose 20 kilos. Here are the steps that we need to follow, and you reverse engineer that. You need to do the same thing in your business. You need to establish a roadmap with the stepping stones or the milestones to move you forward to get to the goal that you want to get to, which is ideally the freedom business. You'll have clear skills, habits, and mindsets, everything that's required along with the discipline to actually get you there. And you're actually motivated and ready to take massive fucking action because you have clarity. That's the biggest key here, is having clarity about where the fuck the ship is actually going. Then we move into pillar 2. The focus here is getting clear on your niche and messaging. If you don't have a niche in your early stages, then you're doomed. You can try and help everyone and anyone, but your content, your marketing, everything else is going to fall on deaf ears. I do believe you need to go deep with a niche, and then you can pull things back out as you grow. Even if you have a huge audience, but you're still sort of, back here, where are we? Let's gain some location here. Even if you have a big following online, let's say, but you're stuck here as an online hybrid coach, then you still need to work out a niche because you still haven't cracked the market. So we need to get clear on a niche. We need to get clear on your messaging and positioning. This is really important. From there, we need to then look at crafting a high ticket offer that's actually scalable. That's the thing. This should say offer just here, but it should be a high ticket offer that's between $1,000 to $3,000, maybe even more, that's actually scalable, right? And that comes back to having a niche. And then it's also understanding what core identity content is. It's not just a matter of like posting like, here's how to calculate your protein and like right versus wrong exercise setup. It's like you want to do a little bit of that, but also we want to speak to the core identity, the values of the actual niche and market that we're working in. Once you've achieved all of this, you've built what we call KLT, which is know, like, and trust with your audience. This is the most important thing. The coaching space is going through a huge shift right now. Since what happened back in 2020 when the world went into lockdown, everything changed at that point. So many businesses came online, which means there is so much more competition out there. It's no longer as simple as just posting one like body transformation and your business blows up, or it's not as simple as posting some exercise techniques and a 6-pack shot and your business blows up. It's not as simple as that anymore. There is a lot more competition, and people want more than just information. They want to get to know who you are so they can actually trust you. So when you have the right content strategy in place, when you're basically, speaking to their core identity with the niche, with the messaging, this is how we develop know, like, and trust. So lethal messaging to attract high quality leads. This is a really important one. If you don't have dialed in messaging, this is the biggest thing that we focus on in Freedom Coach, is getting your messaging up to scratch. Once you know who you're talking to, which is your niche, we then need the most ideal messaging to attract only the highest of quality people through. The outcome as well is then having simple and effective content strategies and systems in place, which is what I call the content ecosystem. But then also a simple and effective business model that doesn't actually suck the life out of you. The biggest problem I see a lot of coaches get into is they get started online, they become the hybrid coach, if you can recall, and they might get 20 clients, but they're working like 30, 40 hours a week because they're just like delivering and delivering and delivering, and it's not a simple and effective model. So pillar 2, getting the right business model in place, is absolutely imperative if the goal is this online freedom business, 5 to 10K a month, that sort of thing. Then we move into pillar 3, which is conversion. So if we quickly recap, pillar 1, mastery, is just getting clear on where you're at and what your goals are. You need to do this. Pillar 2 is then uncovering what your offer is going to be. So niche, messaging, know, like, and trust, core identity content ecosystem, and a simple and effective model. That's the next step that I would be focusing on if this was the goal. From there, pillar 3 is then conversion. So we need to actually make sales and have something to convert clients. So the focus here is to build a simple and predictable system for converting new clients. All you want to look at doing here is running some really simple paid Instagram follower ads that pull people into your world. If you have pillar 2 in place, which is, where are we? If we have the content ecosystem in place and we're consistently posting, we're consistently showing up, this becomes an incubator. So if we run the Instagram profile follower ads, we're now paying for targeted attention into our world. Because just consider this for a moment. Content does a really good job at creating trust and connection, but it can take a fucking lifetime to get any traction. Let's be honest. Like the Instagram algorithm gods, they're not really that favorable of us small fries with a small audience, unless you want to get your ass out and do some weird TikTok dance, which most of the time, if you're watching this, I would say you probably don't want to be doing. But the Instagram ads, the paid traffic, that actually brings targeted attention into our world. It brings speed. So if we can bring both worlds together, now we've got a spicy little conveyor belt of attention. The other focus here is learning sales and appointment setting. There's a pretty good chance you can't sell for shit right now, even though you think you can. You probably can't. We need to get your sales skills up to scratch. And then also the focus with conversion is learning how to operate your business from KPIs and data, not just how you're feeling or thinking. A lot of coaches think they're doing well or think they're not doing well, and then their data just says completely different things. So the outcome of having pillar 3 in place in your online business is a predictable lead generation system. We want to get your lead gen on autopilot. Consistent client acquisition. If you've got consistent content going out to nurture your audience, plus ads drawing people in, this is how we hit the ground running with speed and consistency. And then also you'll obviously understand how to sell and that sort of thing. So you'll have 6-figure, 7-figure closing skills. From there, once all those 3 pillars are in place, that's all good and well, because that's the front end, right? We've got the attention coming through, we've got the people coming in, we're making the sales, but you need to be able to deliver on the back end. So we need to be able to leverage you. So the focus here is to learn how to actually coach clients online. So here's where you need to understand how to actually coach your clients, check-ins, delivery, onboarding, all that sort of thing. You need to understand how coaching systems work and processes. It's not just a matter of winging things anymore. You actually need to build systems and processes for this business to run efficiently. You need to be able to deliver your services efficiently and professionally as well. So this is where we're looking at bringing in things like software, Trainerize, Kahunas, some shit like that. The outcome here is systemized client onboarding, fulfillment, and delivery. 80% automated business. This is a really big one here. You'll never fully automate a coaching business. You still need to show up at some point. But if we can automate a lot of it, wow, this is how we take on a lot more clients. Like the Bikini Body Project, my business, it had 97 clients. No team. Let that sink in for a second. That's a lot of clients. Pretty good. Making around 30 to 40K a month. Not too bad. So all that is attributed to systems, processes, automation. We then want to look at, obviously the outcome here is then leveraging software and an online platform delivery. And ideally the goal is to run this business in less than 4 hours per day, maybe 5. If you're spending 8 hours a day running your online coaching business now and you've got 20 clients, then your shit is fucking broken. But those are the sort of the 4 pillars required to essentially run this online freedom coaching business, right? 5 to 10K a month. If you're floating around those numbers, this is what's required. This can even go up to 30, 40K a month with these same pillars in place. Mastery, gaining clarity. Model is understanding the actual business model you're delivering. Niche, offer, content. Know, like, trust. Pillar 3 is conversion. We need some sort of system in place to consistently bring people in and sell to them. And pillar 4, leverage, is how to actually run this fucking business on the back end so it runs like an actual business. And these are the 4 pillars that I use in Freedom Coach right now, myself, and how I get clients and how I deliver. And that's also how my paying clients get clients and deliver as well. So those are the 4 pillars required. Moving on from there, let's actually go through the funnel and the more of the acquisition process and how this shit actually fucking works. And like full transparency, I use this exact same funnel. And if you can pick up on it, you're actually in the funnel right now. But let's go through this. So top of funnel, we're looking at a cold audience here. So the goal here is awareness, traffic, and Instagram profile growth. I like to keep this simple. All we're looking at doing here is having an established content system, and we're running some paid ads to bring people into our world. Let's zoom in here a little bit closer. Not the best color, but it'll do. Content ecosystem gets our know, like, and trust happening. Paid ads get us speed. If you are missing one of these, you don't get traction. If you don't have content and you just run paid ads, it's going to basically get leads happening, but you're going to have a hard time selling, because if you can remember, I just said the coaching industry is going through a shift. People's trust is lower than ever. People's skepticism is higher than ever. Content is what's going to help that. If you don't have content, you don't have know, like, trust. Paid ads, it'll get you the attention, but there's no trust behind it. Contrary to that, or the paradox to that, is if let's say that you don't have paid ads running and you're just doing the content thing, you're probably getting know, like, and trust, but your audience just isn't growing. It's really, really slow. You've probably already scraped your entire following with, like, you know, reach outs and all that sort of thing to try and get leads, and like it just doesn't grow as fast as you want. But if you can bring both worlds together, wow, nice. This is where we create width with our audience, and this is where we generate awareness of who the fuck you actually are. Plus, our Instagram profile grows at the same time. Because the way that our paid ads run is, it's not like, hey, buy my thing. It's more so like, hey, come and follow my account, check out my content. Once they follow you and they're in our world, with the middle of funnel, we now classify this as a warm audience. The goal here is to create trust, connection, and authority with your audience. So they come into what I like to call this content incubator. And essentially you're showing up with daily content. This is feed posts, daily stories, that sort of thing. We're running retargeting ads to get back in front of our prospects' faces again and again and again. We're then leveraging a little bit of YouTube. So you're watching this video right now on YouTube, and this is where you're sitting in my process, right? In my funnel, which is the same funnel. You're sitting right here. You're getting to know, like, and trust me. You're getting to see if I'm the real fucking deal before you hand me some money and let me help you grow your business. If that's the case and you want to do that and you're already sold, just click the link down below, my friend, and book in a call. But see if we're a good fit. But alongside that, we have YouTube, and then we're also running some mini VSLs. So this is what you're watching right now is classified as a mini VSL, where I'm walking you through the system and showing you how shit works, but also indirectly selling you at the same time. So we'll teach you how to do all of that. But this is the process I've used to obviously make my money, and this is the process that my clients are also using as well. Once they're in our world and they're in our incubator, some people will be ready to buy within 1 minute. Some people will be ready to buy within 1 year. It really just depends on how much they need to get to know, like, and trust you before they're willing to jump in the program. Once they are ready, we can kind of call them a prospect at that point. This is more so leads. Now they're a prospect, right? Bottom of funnel is they're hot, right? They're ready. The goal here is relationships, conversations, calls, and sales. So at this point here, all we like to do is just have a really casual DM conversation with the person. And it's not basically trying to jump into bed with them straight away. It's just like cultivating a relationship and getting to know, like, and trust the person to see if you're a good fit and to see if you vibe. If that is the case, you would book in for a call with the person and then sell them into your high ticket online coaching offer. Really simple process here. This is where the conversions start to happen. But, and hopefully you can see here as well, is pillar one basically will sit up here, right, before the funnel starts. So pillar one was clarity, if you can remember. I'll just write CL. That's clarity. Once we've got clarity, we can then move into pillar two, which is the model. So this is where we start to create content and we know what we're doing here. So this is sort of pillar two down through here. Pillar three was the conversion system, right? So we need to know how to actually convert these motherfuckers and get them to pay you cash. From there, pillar four was leverage, which is now down here. So let's say they've became a client. Beautiful. Now what we need is them to actually get results. So we need a systemized onboarding process. It's a hybrid coaching structure. So when I say hybrid, essentially it's group coaching and one-to-one coaching at the same time. If you have a niche and they're all the same kind of person, this is really how you can start to leverage yourself and coach one-to-many and also one-to-one. It works really, really well from a time standpoint. You'll then build a community, so your clients will actually want to stay around and be around other people like them. You'll get killer results with your delivery systems, which then ultimately turn into a case study. That is the primary outcome of this funnel and this system. It is to get attention and then get a case study. Why is the job to get a case study? Because you want to get some kick-ass fucking results for your clients, And the results should be so good that when you film a case study video with them, that feeds back into awareness, and then the whole system kind of just fuels itself. So it becomes this self-fulfilling funnel in a way. You're showing up with your content, your ads are running, you're getting good results. It's autopilot, right? But don't just take my word for it. Someone like my client Reese here, hey man, just sold a spot in my program, $1,500, paid in full. Freedom Coach system works, super easy sale. Prospect was already warm, has been digesting my content. So this just goes to show that if you have the content incubator cranking, skepticism goes down. It becomes really easy. Shaz or Cheyenne, first 2 sales and the client's paid in full. Can't wait to keep growing with you. And this was before we even launched ads. So all we did here was install pillar 1, which is get clarity, and then we got to posting some content, and people's hands started going up straight away. Or like my boy Raul, 16-week subscription, mate of mine, he was checking out his content, jumped on the program straight away. Fucking awesome. My guy Michael, again, this dude here essentially was just sitting there watching his content, consuming, put his hand up. The guy paid in full cash, so it was obviously someone he knows, which is fucking awesome as well. Chrissy, 3 sales this week from 3 calls. That's 100% close rate. You wouldn't be getting 100% close rate if they weren't, whoops, where are we? Let's get this pencil going. If they weren't warm and if they weren't hot. Without that, it would be a hard sell. Or let's have a look at, say, like here's Chrissy again, more sales. We've got George popping his cherry, getting his first client. Saw the IG post, someone needing the exact path I can show them. Cliche, but full conscious congruency. And the thing is, he's talking about that because everything was dialed in with the clarity. So he got clarity, knew who he was talking to, created content, hands started going up straight away. My boy Ben, over 9K last week alone on Stripe. Dude, that's huge. What would your life be like? Like, just ask yourself this question. What would your life be like if you were consistently making even just something as small as 1 to 2 high ticket sales in your business each week? Even as low as $1,000. That's 2K a week. Times that by 4, 8K a month. What would your life be like? I would say pretty fucking good, right? Massey, 10K a month. Beautiful. Who else we got here? Chrissy, more sales again. 4.5K contracted. Man, an awesome system. So it just goes to show that, like, with the right system in place, this shit gets really, really easy. Like, really easy. And it just makes sense. Like, from a strategic standpoint, it makes sense because we want to create trust with people, but we also want to speed the process up. And that's why content and ads is so fucking helpful. But it's not going to work if you don't have your niche and your messaging dialed in. Like, one of the biggest things we focus on in Freedom Coach, just a full subtle flex of my course here, which I'll walk you through in a moment anyways. Niche and offer exercise, irresistible offer creation, power positioning. All of these modules here are how we create lethal messaging so the incubator really fires away. If we don't have the lethal messaging dialed in, if you don't have your niche dialed in, none of this shit works. And this is why most of the time the content you're posting falls on deaf ears. It's the brutal truth that you probably don't want to hear, but that's just how it is. So my friend, you would know what we're doing here now. Where do you go from here? Really, you've got 2 options, right? Option number 1, or option A, is in the short term, you can save your money, figure it out by yourself, try and implement what you've learned here. You don't necessarily have to sign up with me. You can just go, yeah, cool, I figured out what Josh has said. I'm going to try to do this myself. Your ego gets in the way and you don't have to hand over any money. So it feels good, right? But in the long term, 6 months from now, you're still going to be spinning your wheels, working this shit out. I've had plenty of people sign up with me that went and tried to do my stuff and then came back 6 months later and they're like, oh fuck, okay, how do we do this? Let's actually do this. You'll still be stuck trading time for money and you'll still be fucking unhappy and unfulfilled. I speak to coaches every single day who have been coaching in the trenches for a long time and they're extremely unfulfilled and extremely unhappy, but because their ego gets in the way, they're like, I can still do this myself, I can figure it out. 6 months go by, I check out their Instagram and they're still doing the same shit, still burnt out, and it's like, dude, you need to get out of option A, right? You need to get out of path A. Just drop the ego, get some help. And if that's the case, this is where you take path B. In the short term, it feels uncomfortable and scary. Your bank account takes a hit, your ego takes a hit, handing over the money sucks. But it's also just shifting your mindset from like, oh man, this is such an expense to, okay, this is going to be a pretty good investment that I probably should invest into. Long term, you put the work in. This is where you now start to become an online coach, a proper full-time online coach. 6 to 12 months from now, this is where shit really starts to gain traction. You've got your dream business, you're working with dream clients, it's predictable and fun, and it's simple. That's the biggest thing here, right? If we zoom out on this and we go right back here, you're here, right? You are sitting right in this zone here. There's a pretty good chance you bounce back and forth, or you're stuck here as a hybrid coach. And this sucks because you're like at capacity in person, you're at capacity online, or it's just inconsistent and you're like pulling your hair out and you're like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck to do here. I'm either just going to try and keep forcing this because that's what my ego is telling me to do, or I'm just going to quit and get a job because I hate this. And that's the last thing you want. But you're like so close to being in this position here. So close. And this is what will happen is if you choose path B, jump in the program, let me help, jump into the community, do that sort of thing, this is where shit really starts to kick off. So if you did choose option B, my friend, I just need you to know that you must be ready to step up and do the fucking work if you want my help. Option B is you jump on the program with me. You jump in just like all our other clients did, take the ego hit, take the bank account hit, commit to doing the work. This is how shit actually starts to happen. But if that's the case and you do jump in, you've got to be willing to do the work. You must be willing to take massive fucking action. Don't expect me to hand you this on a silver fucking platter. Like, you are going to be doing the work yourself. I'll show you how to do it, but I'm not going to do it for you. And it's not going to be an overnight success. Building an actual business takes months and years, not weeks like all the other fucking gurus out there promise to you. And you must be willing to contribute to our community of A players, which I'll show you in a moment. And if that is the case, and that is the kind of person that you are, then welcome, my friend. You're actually in safe hands now. You're not going to be burnt by any other business coaches. You're actually in good quality, safe hands. At the time of filming this, I only work one-to-one with my clients. So you're going to get my one-to-one help. Simple as that. So, question for you, like, what would it actually do for you? Like, building and scaling an online business is hard and lonely. As you would know, you've probably already been trying to do this and it's fucking hard, it's fucking frustrating, and it's lonely as hell. But like, what if I could help you, simply just like help you lay the foundations of a successful coaching business? We just get you clear on your niche, we just get the delivery systems in place and just lay the foundations. Even that alone would be fucking life-changing for you. I can guarantee you that. But that's just like the minimum of what I'll help you do and what we do with Freedom Coach. On top of that, we get you clear on mastery, which is goal setting, clarity about who you are. We help you become the person that can run the business you want. Pillar 2 is then model. This is where we get your niche dialed in with. This is where we get your messaging dialed in. This is where we get the content system in place. This is where we start to generate know, like, and trust with people. Then pillar 3 is the conversion system. This is how we run the paid ads. This is how we pull people into your world. We'll show you how to sell to people. We'll show you how to sell a $1,000 to $3,000 high ticket offer. This is where you start making fucking cash, right? Our primary goal is 1 to 2 sales a week. Think about that. High ticket offer, 1 to 2 sales a week, times that by a year. It's a lot of money. And then pillar 4, leverage. Man, this is how we systemize this shit and make it run really smooth. Simple as that. All 4 of these pillars, this is what will get you to 5 to 10K a month as an online coach. It is simple as that. But my friend, that's enough rambling from me. The next step is the easiest one you'll take. If you love what you saw today, if it all sounds right, you want to learn a little bit more, there's a link down below. Jump on that, book in a time, you'll speak directly with me. I don't have a sales team. It's just literally me that runs this business. We'll go through a bit of a deep dive, we'll work out where you're at, where you want to be, and I'll see if I can help you bridge the gap. If that's the case, amazing. I'll give all the details about how my coaching program works and all the bits and bobs inside of that. If not, I'll send you in the right direction with some free trainings or pass you on to someone else who might be a better fit. If you did want to have a quick squiz behind the scenes to see what you get, we've got a kick-ass community here. Let this bad boy load. So here's our community feed, all our clients posting stuff inside of here, which is really fucking cool to see. We then have our community, or our classroom, I should say. So the 4 pillars we spoke about: mastery, model, conversion, leverage. All of these modules go deep into what I just spoke about today. Milestones and offer, coaching deliverables, irresistible offer creation. Let's jump in and have a look at conversion. So this is where we dive deep into content. This is where we dive deep into appointment settings, sales, objection handling, how to actually take money. Not only that, we also, and there's like leverage, which is how to deliver, and conversion, which is where the ads are. Not only that, you also get free access to the 5-hour online coach. And this is a separate course that I built that shows you literally every single moving part to running an online coaching business in the background. So this is how you make your delivery fucking bulletproof. We also have cool support calls that go each week. We do consultation calls. There's messaging access. There's a whole bunch of other fun things inside of here. But at the end of the day, like, none of that shit's actually important. Like, My primary focus in this business is to simply help you get to 5 to 10K per month within about 6 months as an online coach. If you want to get more deets about all of that sort of stuff and you want to figure out how this can actually work for you, click on the link below, book in a call, we'll get you signed up, we'll get you going, and I can guarantee that it'll be the best investment of your life. But even if you're not ready to invest, then it might be worth going back, watching my content, because you might not be ready yet. And that's also totally fine. If you're not ready to book in a call and you don't feel like you're ready to pull the pin, then don't. Because I only want to work with people who are ready. And if you're not ready, go watch all my other content. Convince yourself till you are ready, and then jump in, book a call, and we'll get you signed up. Other than that, my friend, hope you got a lot of value. Get that shit going. See you soon.